This segment of DelmarvaLife is sponsored by TidalHealth.
Well, you may not have known, but June is actually National Cancer Survivorship Month. It's a time to focus on enhancing the quality and length of survival of all people diagnosed with cancer while preventing, minimizing, and managing the adverse effects of cancer and its treatment.
Cancer has touched all of our lives one way or another, and with more than 18 million cancer survivors in the United States all alone, it's important to recognize the best way to support them and their caregivers. We would like to welcome this afternoon with us Kathy Stafford, the Outreach Manager of the Richard A. Henson Cancer Institute, joined by Colleen Donlan, who is a cancer survivor. Guys, thank you so much for stopping in this afternoon to talk to us.
Thank you for having us.
So June is Cancer Survivorship, is that the right word? Cancer Survivorship Awareness Month. Survivorship. And you've got two different perspectives here. What does survivorship mean to you?
Well, for me, it's the moment you're diagnosed with cancer, survivorship begins. And then it carries on through the entire process of the journey of treatment, choice of treatment or not, and then post-treatment. And that can be up to 10, 15, 20 years after treatment, because treatment does have a cost on each person's life.
For me, it just means reassessing everything. You don't take the days for granted. Suddenly, you get a newer perspective on living.
So Colleen, tell me about your cancer journey.
Well, it started in Baltimore when I found a lump. My husband and I have been looking for 2 years for our retirement home. And we were under contract here. And it just went from there. I had a false start elsewhere to get my my testing done, and I wasn't really thrilled with what I was hearing, and I went for a second opinion at TidalHealth, and everything went swimmingly. And within 6 months of getting my initial diagnosis with the mammogram, I was walking out the door at TidalHealth, ringing the bell.
Wow.
I was done.
Wow.
Done.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so Kathy, let me ask you, what are some of the practical challenges, for example, that a survivor faces?
Practically, it's the people that are in their lives that help them to figure out, okay, can we make it to every single treatment? Can we find a way to get you in a community where you feel like you're heard and you're understood? Can we support you in post-treatment? And TidalHealth tries to work with each patient, finding out if they need transportation support, if they need a sense of community, if they need a support group. And our social work team does a really great job at making sure they have that practical support.
So, and there's an emotional contingent to that too?
Yeah.
Yes, there's absolutely emotion. When you get your diagnosis, you're pushing all your emotions to the side because you want to just get this done. You don't want to double think it. You don't want to talk yourself out of it. So once you're done with your what I call the heavy lifting, you want to go back and unpack all the emotional baggage and go to support groups or reach out in some way to kind of get the other half of your healing going.
Wow.
Obviously, we still have people going into survivorship every single day. Is there a message that either of you would want to give to somebody who has found themselves in that situation?
Yes, absolutely. We were talking about it before we came on, and I think it's knowing yourself and finding that community that can help you. And I mentioned earlier that it's not just immediately post-treatment, because you'll keep going back for assessments to see if the cancer is still in remission. But it's post that, the emotional support that you need to not fall into depression or fall into any other kind of anxiety. It's that kind of help and support that you'll need, and there's support groups out there like MAC and Unstoppable Joy and Women Supporting Women and Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. All of them do a phenomenal job at helping.
You're not alone.
No, you're not.
Ladies, thank you so much for coming in
Thank you for having
and
us.
talking about survivorship with us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.